All right, Brendan O'Doy, footballhotbed.com, here with JT Wilcox, senior writer of footballhotbed.com. Welcome into the wrap-up show, the weekly wrap-up show here on Football Hotbed. Listen, JT, this has been one of the most exciting weeks that we've had. It started out with yesterday, but first let's talk about this game right here at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. American Heritage, number 5 in the nation, takes down Cardinal Gibbons. It was 23-19. This game, hey, we were talking about, hey, this thing is over at 16-6. But good thing we didn't go anywhere, because this turned into a football game.
It really did, and you had to think that was going to happen when you're talking about two teams, district opponents that are very familiar with one another. And, of course, they're going to play tough because Cardinal Gibbons now has a new chip on their shoulder. Coach Matt DeBuck has done a great job mentally and physically toughening up this football team, and you saw it on display tonight. They didn't get down. They kept fighting. When they did go down on the scoreboard, they stayed together. They kept fighting and made this a football game. That missed extra point, I think, deflated them just a little bit, and then they didn't recover the onside kick, and that's how American Heritage was able to hold on. But you can see the gap has closed between these two teams.
Absolutely. This is not your older brother's Cardinal Gibbons. This is a new, renovated, much more tough and physical Cardinal Gibbons team, and that's been one of the knocks on this Cardinal Gibbons program. Not as physical tonight, very physical. What has happened? Recruiting. They're getting a lot of guys in from some of the prominent youth football programs in South Florida, and you saw it here tonight, but Heritage just too much. Talk about the play of Tyler Jones.
Tyler Jones, I mean, the play of the game, get small. They call him Mouse. He got small, was able to bounce to the outside, took one to the house, really sealed this thing for American Heritage tonight. You're talking about a guy who's really third on this depth chart, so that lets you know what kind of talent this American Heritage team possesses. Defensively, another lights-out performance. Andrew Chatfield, Nesta Silvera, who I got a chance to sit next to and rap with a little bit tonight, he was fired up for this game, and it showed. A couple of sacks for him while the UM coaches were out here watching it. He's a UM commit, so I know that was probably why he was so juiced up for this one. But again, you look at this American Heritage team, and you have to be impressed no matter what.
Yeah, Coach Kulikowski down there at the University of Miami, he was out watching Nesta Silvera, his future Hurricane. Let's flip back now to the game that happened under the lights, national championship game, national spotlight game, I should say. Carroll City versus Northwestern. Hey, it was a 13-7 contest. It was a defensive battle, but just the story of that game to me was the offensive inefficiencies of Carroll City.
It was, and when you look at it, you had to know that was going to happen, going up against a Northwestern defense like that. I mean, we talked about the donut streak that Carroll City had going on, 4 straight shutouts, but before the IMG game, Northwestern had held their opponents to just 14 points as well. So you're talking about a defensive group at Northwestern that can be stingy in its own right. So I knew it was going to be kind of a back and forth, kind of wash and close kind of game where it's going to be tight. Things were going to come down to field position and special teams, and those were a part of it. So I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it was a really close game, a defensive battle, and one of those defensive players, Samuel Brooks, he was injured during that game, and it's an unfortunate situation for Northwestern because they would have looked to need him next week as they take on Miami Central. This is the Death District, 6A, you know what I mean, District 16. This is a district that it's for grown men. We call it the SEC here. Let's look ahead to the Miami Hurricanes taking on Georgia Tech. We'll have highlights in this show. Let's go to some of the highlights. All right, JT, keys to the game, you know, University of Miami going into Georgia Tech. What do they have to do to get this win?
They have to start fast. I would think if they get the chance to win the coin toss, I say they should receive the ball and try to get some points on the board on their first drive, because you look at Georgia Tech with that triple option, they're going to bleed that clock. No matter what, they're going to bleed the clock, and the University of Miami is going to have upward of probably 3, maybe even 4 less offensive drives than they normally would against a team with a different kind of offense. So they have to be proficient and efficient in their offensive schemes and what they do, and have to make plays downfield to get up early. That way they can put that Georgia Tech offense in a bit of a bind and allow Chad Thomas, Kendrick Norton, and the linebackers to play downhill and make plays in the backfield.
Big coastal matchup for the University of Miami. Big matchup for them, trying to get that coveted Coastal Division title. It's been so elusive up to this point. Can they rebound after having a great week in Tallahassee? We shall see. To close this show, JT, a big win tonight for the Plantation Colonels over Coach Rakovich's Western Davy Strong Tigers.
Wildcats.
But talk about that game, because, I don't know, Coach Davis comes back, and it's like, all of a sudden, there's life in Plantation again.
I know, and that was a pick going wrong. I mean, I picked Western to win that one. I was drinking the Western Kool-Aid. I guess I got to pour myself too big a glass. Plantation, I got a chance to watch them against Miramar, and I saw that is a very good football team. They're physical. They run a variation of the wing tee themselves, so they run the football, and they run it well. They have 3 great running backs. Kamani Adelson is probably the leader, the best one that they have. I'm sure he had a big game tonight as well. Big win for them. You see what Coach Steve Davis, he had 1 year off. He comes back, and they're right back to where we're accustomed to seeing Plantation. So it's a great thing to see. I know the Colonels are excited for that win, and I can't wait to see what they do when the playoffs come around.
Can't wait to see it at all. Hey, listen, it's almost playoff time. We're over halfway through the season here at footballhotbed.com. Stay tuned to footballhotbed.com for all the latest and the greatest. This is the Week Up Wrapping Show, weekend wrap-up show. I can barely get it out. I'm Brandon O'Doy, JT Wilcox. From all of us here at Football Hotbed, it's a hotbed world.